Okay, we're going to take the hoses off of here, put them on here. After I take a couple minutes, I have to clean out the leaves that some kind rodent has left inside of this radiator for me. Transfer all this over onto that radiator and see if we can get it to fit in with a shroud. I lost all my footage of taking this radiator off except for, well, if you watch any of my shorts, except for about 8 seconds because the light was so bad. So as long as the sun's out, we're going to get something done here. Channel locks, Poisson wrench, the old French wrench. We have our adjustable locking pliers out there, colloquially known as vice grips. And I got to grab a screwdriver and the new hose to replace this. I'll be right back with you. You know, honestly, it just took me 15 minutes to find this stupid piece of hose. I don't know how it's possible for me to lose things as fast as I do. Yeah. So, for now, we'll slide this one out of the way until we get to the cleaning process. When I take my radiators out, I like to keep it all together. I like to pull it right off the head, right off the side of the engine. And even though we're not saving this hose, I still need the hose clamp. And it's not going to come off easy, of course. Hose clamp. Loosen that one. Can we get it out of the way yet? Nope. Let's go just a little bit more. I know you love watching somebody just puttering around with loosening bolts and screws and stuff. Let's see. Turn it! Oh, ow, that's on there tight. There she goes. We'll check this one, see if it's salvageable. It actually has a slight bend to it. So, we'll see how that goes. On to this. This is why I like to keep these things together, because it makes it this quick to change over something like this. Now, mind you, I think I checked this radiator. I'm not sure. It might leak all over the place. I know I shouldn't put this on yet. I should clean the beginnings of the rodent nest out of it first, but you know how it is once you start a job. It's just kind of go full speed ahead with it. Well, let's measure and cut this. Allow ourselves an extra inch. I can't see how I could mess it up by more than an inch. We might find out how in a minute. It's 2-inch hose. It should be a 2-inch outlet. I don't know why it's not going on easier than it is. But like all else in life, sometimes you gotta work a little bit. You know what? I'm going to stick this over here in the sun. Let the sun warm it up a little bit so it's a little more flexible. In the meantime, I'm going to go grab the shop vac so we can clean this out. I'll be back. All right, let's either blow this out or whatever. Let's try blowing it out first. That's not going to work. Seems to be pretty clean. We'll find out when we fill it up and we get no water through it. Oh, there's more leaves. Imagine that. See if this warmed up enough to get it on there. The answer is no. We're going to grab just a little schmutz of oil. We'll run it around here, get that taken care of. Now, see if we can get it down there. No, the hose is the right size because it's what I usually get. I don't know what the heck we did. We've used this radiator before. There she goes. And we'll throw the clamp on it now. Save ourselves the hassle later. Theoretically. Oh. I'm not sure I like the angle of this hose coming out of here. I hope we don't end up with a kink because of it. Let's pull that right off. Right down over the top there. That's better. Riveting content, isn't it? Almost. I'll bring you back in a second. Okay, we got her on. Let's see how it's going to fight me when I get it on. I get the feeling that maybe I shouldn't have cut that little section off. I allowed an extra inch. I maybe should have allowed a little extra so it could have more flex to it. But we'll find out in just a second when we try to put it on. Then we'll find out if it's going to leak when we try to fill it up. Here we go. Got to pull this off the side too. Well, at least while we put the surround on. French wrench. French wrench. I don't worry very much because I know that the Ford system on the Model A is a non-pressurized system. I do have to find the radiator cap for this radiator. You know, nothing's going to come spewing out. It'll might leak out and come spattering up in my eyes while I'm driving, which is inconvenient. I had it happen enough times between this and Parker's and my former, which was my vehicle that started this all for me was a Ford Model BB truck that had been converted to a doodlebug, so it had the Model B engine. But had I known then what I know now, shit, I would have kept that engine. She was a nice and strong, heavy though, very heavy vehicle. Like I said, it was a BB, not just a Model B, so it was made for a truck, a very heavy frame. All right, let's get it in. Do. 5/8 bolts right there. And test fitting. Test fitting. You go under there. You go around there. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing. Might be able to take some more off of there. Probably you'll have to actually. That inch that I left, we're probably going to have to take off. So let's find that knife. Look up, pink elephants on parade. You ever wonder where the songs in your head come from? Yeah, I know, it's from Dumbo, but why? Oh, yeah, if you're ever getting this hose, don't bother going to Napa. Call like Mike's Affordable, give them a check, because for the same amount as this section of a 1-foot section of this at Napa, you're going to be able to get all 3 of these pieces of hose, the one that goes into the block the connector as well as the one that goes into the head. Yeah, I've been through this with this one before. It is a funky angle. It's going to strangle that a little bit. But you know what? As long as it works, I really don't often have a problem with overheating. As in, I just don't have a problem with overheating ever. So, pop our gasket in. Slide that bolt in there. Reline the gasket. My hope is that when I had the incident that pulled the radiator, that it didn't bend these bolts, or worse yet, crack this the side of this block where this housing goes on, because these things were holding tight, and there was the entire weight of the car being held by the radiator. But you wouldn't think it would be a good thing, huh? No, not like it was intentional and all, but shit happens. Gates. Something tells me you're not lined up right. Grab a screwdriver. And as usual, my flashlight is on the video camera, so I have to get in here and make funny faces and wriggle around my face with my glasses to get them where they belong. Here, why don't you come over here and take a look. See if we can get a light on the subject, too. There we go. Here is where I am. Trying to get these bolts lined up. And the gasket lined up underneath. I'm a big believer in RTV. I just didn't use it this time because I'm hoping to be able to reuse gaskets more often. There's the gasket. Bite. Yep. All right. Click. 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 All right, next up, we have to get our bolts out of our coffee can that went right in there. What's that little guy? So nothing. We'll get the bolts out of the coffee can that go in there. We'll get that cinched up, get water in there, and hopefully, okay, we won't get water in. We'll get what I like to call the radiator fluid. We'll get the coolant in there, and we'll see if we have any leaks. Alright, here we are back on the front end. And these, the Model A radiator, actually, instead of being strapped down solid, this bolt comes through the bottom. This rubber piece goes between the radiator and the frame. This will go on top, and then the castellated nut will go on. That allows the radiator a little bit more shifting, and put it over here where you can see it. That allows the radiator to shift a little bit, and hopefully not end up breaking. And that'll go up through there. We'll come underneath. Slide that through. Yes, everything I own is rusty, alright? Get off of me. And that's 9/16. Now this is a castellated nut, so we do have a cotter pin we have to slide through there, and just barely on there. Cotter pin will come right through this specific hole. Now it's just barely on there, so you know it does have some play to it. I'll get the other one on. We'll get it clamped up. We'll get this side taken care of. We'll get it all clamped up, and we'll see if we can get one of our towels on it. Got two there. Got the one hanging on the front of the building. That's a 31. That's hanging on the front of the building, which is probably a better fit for this, but we'll see what happens. Okay, that's not quite right. We still have to make some modifications. I'm going to cut these two tabs off so everything rests back a little bit more fully, so it's not bouncing all over the place, because I also use a single pole here instead of these. So we'll see what happens there. Maybe I'll put the hood back on it. Be an idea, huh? Let's get you out of the way for the moment. Refill. Funnel. 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 You see one? Okay, well, why don't we just pour it all over the garage floor then? There you go. Yeah, this is mostly coolant. My vehicles spend a lot of time outside. It's not odd to find them covered with snow. Best thing for them? No, it's not. But it still allows me room in the garage to work. Because although it's a two-car garage, it is a two-car garage that has 60 years of stuff crammed into it from my parents. A bunch of stuff crammed into it from me. We don't want the pine needle. We don't mind the dirt. We don't want the pine needle. Probably have enough leaves in there still. How can a rodent manage to make such a mess? I mean, a little bitty hole. Of course, he didn't mess around with the other ones. The other ones are fine. But this one, of course, he had to get his little rodentness into there. I could still take a little bit more. Nothing's dripping yet. While we're here, let's replace the condenser on the distributor. Since it is thought that's what the problem is. So we'll just replace the condenser and we'll fire it up. Alright, there's nothing to say that this condenser is going to be any better, but who knows? It might not be any worse. It's a real great system. Because whereas with modern distributors, you have to take everything apart to get to the condenser. These, this screw in the back. There's this screw in the back. Screw in the back, it will come out. Okay, we're going to hold that screw on so we don't drop it on the floor and lose it forever. But this one, on the other hand, almost lost forever. You're not coming out of there. Probably because Andy did something stupid to me. Let me get this out of here. I'll be back. All right, now we're down here at the distributor. We have our next condenser to put in. I'm still not sure that's the problem, but let's pull. This guy out of the front. We'll come around. And with the light from the camera shining in my eyes, I'll try to pull this one out of the back. Hope it comes out easier than that last one did. Oh, so far so good. I'm going to slide this one right back in there and try to get that screw started. How are we looking here? All right. Just slightly off center there, huh? Ta-da. Or as I like to say, ta-freaking-da, baby. Here we go. Let's get that in. Get that in. All right. So we have our radiator in. It doesn't seem to be leaking anywhere yet. Always a good sign. No wet spots on the front. This thing's looking there. Better add a little bit more, huh? Hey, look, a leaf. I'll get the pliers and get that out of there. But, yeah, there's a little wetness here, but that's been there since the incident. I don't see any wetness here yet, but we won't be able to find out until it warms up a little bit. And, of course, I won't be able to do anything because I left the ignition on. So my battery is drained to zero, so I got to throw that on the charger, and hopefully in a couple of hours, then we can see if we can get it started. Here we go.